Look, listen. Makeup brand name Flesh recently launched, and I'd seen a lot of reviews, was personally curious myself, so I went to check it out on the Ulta website. And the more I looked through the products, I can't get over the product names and shades. They sound like they were named by a serial killer. And while I love true crime, that was just coming at it from like the wrong angle for me, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So instead, I figured I would look for some makeup inspired by my personal favorite, one of my favorite true crime podcasts, My Favorite Murder. I figured there'd be quite a bit to choose from because they just have a lot, in general, there's a lot of handmade, custom stuff out there, embroidery, cross-stitching, keychains, jewelry, you name it, there's so much cool stuff out there. So I thought I would see if there was any makeup. I quickly found myself on Etsy, naturally, which is where I found the lipstick I'm gonna be talking about today, but I also found some things that I didn't pick up because I was somehow able to justify not purchasing that, like I need another lipstick. I don't know, it's his makeup logic. But there are some really cool things I didn't pick up but still deserve honorable mentions that I will link to down below, one of which is this cool compact with that quote from Karen that's like, "Can't you tell by my thick eyeliner I'm no one's mother," or however it goes. Love that. But like I said, I don't need another compact. There were also some makeup bags, really cool, but not a whole lot of actual cosmetics like makeup. So I found what I could, which was basically these lipsticks that I'm gonna talk about today, and I figured I would review them. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the lipsticks I'm gonna talk about are from a Canadian Etsy shop called The Base Element. I bought 4 shades, although, well, first of all, back it up. I placed my order and the customer service was insane. Like almost immediately I got a message from the seller letting me know that she'd received my order, she was packaging everything up, and it would be shipped out super fast. Then she also included a yet to be named shade in here, which is so freaking nice. So I actually have 5 different shades to talk about here with you today. Each of them costs $11.86, are handmade, and the ingredients in all of these are, if I can read it, castor oil, jojoba oil, eco soya wax, candelilla wax, sweet almond oil, and mica color, which is obviously, that's the one thing that's going to vary across all of these because that's what gives each of these lipsticks their different pigments. Across the board, as I'm sure you could have gathered from the ingredient list, this is a super hydrating, moisturizing, like nourishing sort of formula with all those waxes and oils in it. As a result, no matter what kind of finish each of these has, because there's a combination between, you know, cream and shimmer, metallic almost, but all of them have a balmy sheen to them, if that kind of makes sense, and a balmy texture, honestly, but the pigment is out of this world, and I don't know why that surprises me. Like, part of why I was attracted to these is there are swatches on the Etsy shop online and you can see just how insane the pigmentation is. But seeing is believing. I got them here, tried them on myself, and was just like blown away by how easily you can get, I mean, crazy neon lips. Now there are some slight variations in terms of texture and application tips that I have, but I figure we can dive into that once we get into the shades, which is pretty much now. The first shade I want to talk about is called Never Be Nice. It is a light, soft baby pink with a shimmery, borderline metallic finish. It's a cooler undertone, so I'm not sure if that comes from the base pink shade or from the shimmery metallic, if that's like kind of a silvery shade. But it reminds me a lot of one of the first lipsticks I ever owned. I think it was from Wet n Wild, but it's like that classic late 80s, early 90s pink, but just made a little bit more modern, if you know what I'm saying. Generally, these are a softer formula. I'm assuming it is because of all of those oils that these contain, but Never Be Nice is one of the more firmer formulas that I have across all the shades that I have. So what that means is that I find it's just a little bit easier to apply straight from the tube, especially when it's summer, like, and we're all just melting our faces off. What I've found in some of these shades is that they're just a little soft, so you'll see me applying them, either smoothing them out with my finger or going in with a lip brush just to get a little bit more precise. Otherwise, straight out of the tube, if they're too soft, they just get a little bit on the messy side. But I will have some tips for getting around that later as well. As a matter of fact, let's just get right on into it. The shade Sweet Baby Angel, this hot neon pink that I'm wearing on my lips today, in case the shade description wasn't a dead giveaway, this is one of the softest shades that I have to try. So you'll see me applying it with a lip brush here in the demo because it tends to move around a lot. So of all the different ways that I've tried this, what I've actually landed on is not the lip brush. What I like to do is dab a little bit on my lips, then blend it in with my finger to make sure it kind of meets all the way around the edges, since it's a little bit harder to do that with this chapstick or lip balm kind of packaging. I blend it around the lips with my fingers, and then I will go back in straight from the tube and dab it right in the center of my lips. Now here's the trick. The first few times I did this, I rubbed my lips together like, I mean, I just feel like I generally do when I want to blot my lips together, but because this moves around so much, what I find I need to do is this sort of thing. You know, it's that you go from the out, it's the physical demonstration is everything. Just take my word for it and do what I do. Because if you don't, what I have found in moving my lips around like I would normally blot is that most of the product moves into my mouth. And yes, I have walked around with neon teeth over the past few days. So what? But to avoid it, it's that super easy fix. Just blot your lips like that. Frankly, even if it took more than that to make this work, I would, because look at this neon lip. I mean, I wish I had a black light because I'm pretty sure it would like fluoresce. Is that a word? We're gonna go with it, in the dark. It would fluoresce in the dark. Next shade is called Bye, which first of all, you do have to say it that way. Second of all, it is now how I end both my personal and professional phone calls, like all of them. This is a deep cream finish berry that leans more into the blue than the red, so it's just more of like a blue-based purpley berry, which is great for making your teeth look white. Fun fact. This is another one that is super easy to get opaque, like literally one swipe, and it is on the firmer side, so I find it's easiest to apply straight from the tube, maybe feather it out around the edges of my lips with my finger, but for the most part, I just go straight in with the tube with this guy. And the last shade is called Don't Be a Fucking Lunatic. This is a super gorgeous transformative shade. At least that's how I tend to like to wear it with my lipsticks. And that's because it's kind of sheer. It looks like this blackened plum in the tube, but when you actually go to apply it, I find when I build up the pigmentation, it gets a little streaky, and so I just prefer to wear it sheared out. But as a result, you get this interesting, it's like a veil of purpley plum smoke across your lips. And so what I like to do with that is take something like a blue-based red, or really any sort of lipstick, but specifically a blue-based red. You apply this over top and it turns it into this like deep vampy crimson with that balmy finish. It's so freaking gorgeous. Or just apply it over your natural lip color for something that's just a little bit deeper and richer. Oh my god, it's so nice. And then the last shade is actually the one that is yet to be named, and I almost wore that one for this video because it's such a fun shade. It is this hot iridescent fuchsia. So it's like the base of it is more red leaning, and then there is this light lilac or like hot lilac iridescent shift to it. It's such a fun shade. Again, on the firmer side of things, so I could totally go in straight from the tube to apply this to my lips, and really easy to build up that pigmentation once again. So overall, I really dig these lipsticks, and these are just a few of a lot of shades that she has. I wanted to get a more diverse selection that included some lighter shades, the deepest shades, the neon shades, clearly. But just know, if you're interested in these, but these shades didn't speak to you personally, she has a ton more. Highly recommend you go check her shop out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also hit me up with any questions you might have about these. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if there are any murderinos watching this, SSDGM. Bye, guys.